Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome to the third Nice Movies podcast, where I talk movies, TV, and all things I want for about half an hour to an hour, once or twice a week. And today, I am not only joined by Lewis once again, but I'm also joined by Ollie Bates, the man himself.
The man who lived.
And today we are talking about one of our favourite franchises, which we're currently watching on the TV with closed captions, and that is Star Wars, but in particular Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and our quote-unquote love for this film. But before we get into that, our quote-unquote love for this movie. Because we don't have a love in the movie.
Oh yeah, we don't love it.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Brilliant.
Oh, sorry.
Careful planning has gone into this podcast.
Oh yes, we spent hours planning it.
But still, nonetheless, before we talk about what we're going to talk about in this podcast today, I should also reiterate that if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, then you can also watch it visually on my YouTube channel with the same name, Now the Movies. And also, if you are watching on YouTube, you have the time to watch all this podcast on YouTube today. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify. And again, the podcast has the same name as my YouTube channel, Nice the Movies. Plus, if you enjoy the podcast, then subscribe, come back for more, and leave feedback so I know what to work on for next time. And also, if you do like the podcast and you watch it on YouTube, please do comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the topics I'm talking about, plus whether you enjoy these videos, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And Lewis has been posting if you are watching this on YouTube, and if you listen to this, Lewis has been posting. Anyway,
bloody long.
because I have to. Right, this is all going to go on the podcast. It's a long intro because I have to say all these things.
I agree, but I don't have anything against it.
Right, okay, yeah. Silence until I ask you guys something. Anyway, as I've already mentioned, in today's podcast, us three are going to be talking about our quote-unquote love for the Phantom Menace.
Oh yes.
So, I'm going to start with my own thoughts before we get into your thoughts.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say
Quite a few
that for
thoughts.
me, I had a big personal connection to it. I watched it loads as a kid, so that's why I kind of like this movie. It's pretty bad though, objectively. I think
First Star Wars film I ever saw.
Is that true?
Oh, that's perfect because in chronological order.
Worst film in the
Not in the order of release.
No. Not in the right order. The right order is the order of release. The chronological order is wrong. Yes, it is. Yes,
No, I agree. I'd rather watch The Phantom Menace first and end with Return of the Jedi.
I'd rather do it the other way around, but
I know, but
you guys are wrong.
That's messed up.
You guys are just wrong.
You're wrong. Shut up. Carry on.
Brilliant. I don't even know if we can hear you mumbling anyway. Yeah.
You're wrong.
It doesn't make sense.
Carry on.
It doesn't matter. Okay, I personally don't think that makes sense because going from Return of the Jedi to the Phantom Menace is basically just going back in time. You might as well just watch the ones that aren't as good and they come first in time or
They're
first.
better. What are you on about?
Okay, that's my subjective. Right, that's my subjective opinion.
Yeah,
Objective.
It's not the objective opinion.
It's Lewis's.
It's Lewis's. Okay, I suppose it's Lewis's objective opinion, but it's also his subjective objective opinion.
What are you?
A lot of people.
Well, you're the one who's saying it's his objective opinion.
As far as I'm aware, a lot of people agree with me that the original's better.
I agree with Lewis.
Yeah.
You're just wrong. Right. I'm going back into what I was saying about the Phantom Menace. You guys chimed in. I'm telling you, I don't speak until I ask you something.
Okay.
You editing this out? Or is
No,
this
it's all
bad?
going in.
Right.
Fingers crossed getting picked up by the microphone as well, because we're all starting in a weird way if you watch this on video. But anyway, nevertheless, I watched it so many times as a kid. I watched it countless times because it was so different than anything I'd ever seen. It is different.
I'm literally the complete opposite there. I never saw it as a kid.
Oh.
I've literally watched it for the first... the first time I saw it, I was actually like, blooming 19.
That was amazing. My mouth didn't move there. Apparently, I had to listen to the already. And we're watching on the TV. This is so bad.
It's great.
Okay.
This is comedy gold.
Silence. Okay. Right. Phantom Menace musical score is absolutely fantastic. It got me into Star Wars musical scores. And also, I mean, the Empire score as well. The score for Empire Strikes Back, which I've got the t-shirt. I've been watching this on YouTube. You can see the t-shirt there that I've got on. I've got my Empire Strikes Back t-shirt. What? What? Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it has to be the laptop.
Yeah, the laptop is blocking. Any audio listeners, I do apologise. This probably isn't that fun for you.
No, it's pretty unfair on audio listeners because
audio listeners, I had my laptop blocking my t-shirt with my Empire Strikes Back t-shirt on. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yes, the Phantom Menace score is fantastic. It's got Track Duel of Fates on. Escape from Naboo. It's got the theme for Anakin and Padme. It's got the pod racing theme in there. It's got some great pieces of music.
Obviously,
I
John
think are
Williams.
massively underrated. Yes, John Williams once again. He's just absolutely incredible. And yeah, now at an older age, even so I see the film in a very different light, I still kind of like it because it's Star Wars and I have this very nostalgic view of it. So now, even though they've already spoken countless times, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to ask them their opinions on this film. Let's start with Lewis. You clearly have a lot to say. So Lewis, what is your opinion on the Phantom Menace?
Well, to be honest, I don't think the movie is great, but I don't think it's brilliant. But I don't think it's terrible. You know, if somebody said to me, "Would you like to watch the Phantom Menace?" I'd happily say yes. But I wouldn't be all excited thinking, "Oh, we're gonna have a great evening tonight, Phantom Menace." You know, but whereas if somebody said to me, "Do you fancy watching The Empire Strikes Back tonight?" I'd be like, "Sure, one of the best films ever." So, for me, the Phantom Menace, I think it's a great first movie in the Star Wars chronological order.
I don't think it's great in the order. I think if you started off with this movie, you'd probably be put off by Star Wars.
Yeah, you would, but the best.
He wasn't.
The best is yet to come.
No,
I believe in starting with the worst and finishing on a high note, the best. But
no. Start with the best. Finish on the shit.
Wait, what was the first one that you watched? What's the first Star Wars movie that you watched? I'm talking to Lewis.
Force Awakens.
Return of the Jedi.
If he said The Force Awakens, I would have laughed over the head of a pillow.
No, honestly not. Return of the Jedi.
It's still not much better. You start off with the final of the original trilogy.
I don't really know how that happened, to be honest, but I mean after that it was A New Hope. But anyway.
Go. Put it forward a bit of Attack of the Clones.
I think that Liam Neeson is I like how it's got Liam Neeson. That's pretty good. As Qui-Gon, as I do like Liam
It's
Neeson.
currently on our screens as we're watching this.
Obviously,
Jar Jar.
This is a very laid back
Very good
podcast, isn't it? Because we're just saying things.
I'm Jar Jar.
We haven't
I don't have feelings for Jar Jar, but
I don't have feelings for Jar Jar. Because he rejected you in the past or something. I don't have feelings. Oh my god. Genius.
I think that what's his name?
Look at the captions. No, actually, Misa. No, God, Jar Jar.
Misa Jar Jar. I think what's his name? I think that Hugh McGregor plays Obi-Wan well, but he's obviously
first time playing Obi-Wan, yeah.
First time, but I think he plays him best in Revenge of the Sith.
Right, can I talk now?
Yes, you can say it.
Sure.
He's saying I don't have feelings for flipping Jar Jar.
Right,
Do you have feelings for Jar Jar, Oliver?
It's better because it introduces the greatest Star Wars character,
Who is?
Anakin Skywalker.
He's not the greatest.
Yes, it is.
No.
That's subjective.
In your subjective opinion.
It introduces the best character. It's got Jar Jar,
Yeah.
who's amazing.
This is in 4K though. I'm watching this on 4K on Disney Plus by Disney Plus for Phantom Menace. Very continue.
Podcast listeners.
It looked really cool. Like normally when I watched as a kid, it had like a blurry thing, but it was like blurry. I don't even know what I'm saying. Carry on. This is going to be really bad for podcasters. But
Yeah,
watching some TV at the
sorry
same
for
time.
podcast listeners.
But yeah.
That's all my fault.
Guys and girls.
What is that? It?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
it? You're not going to say anything for the rest
Nothing
of the
else?
podcast?
No.
Is he walking out the room?
He's left.
Walking away from the camera. Get back in the camera now.
How dare you?
Get back in the camera.
Give me like 5 minutes.
Right, he's going to come back in 5 minutes, guys.
Well, for anyone watching or listening, it's just me and
I generally thought me and Lewis were going to say some really interesting things about the Phantom Menace. So far, the whole of this podcast has just been absolute drivel and a mess and just us spouting random things completely out of order. I'm trying to say normal things, like the musical score is really good. Lewis is there going, I don't have feelings for Jar Jar. All his base is bloody on the other side of the room right now. It's about 5 words.
Okay, I'm guilty. I was introduced to the Phantom Menace through Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga rather than actually the movie.
Which brings me on to one of the big points. Don't watch that in the background. No, because I don't need sound interference. Christ almighty.
Also, you could get it done for
Yeah. For Christ's sake. Right, okay. This was the first Star Wars movie. This Star Wars movie kind of made Lego Star Wars what it was. Without the movie, we hadn't had Lego Star Wars before.
I've seen that.
Shut up. You can't even see you on the video anymore. You won't watch it on the YouTube. I apologise to the YouTube watchers as well. This is awful. But like, basically, this Star Wars film made Lego Star Wars possible. Before this, we didn't have any Lego Star. We didn't have any Lego Star Wars on New Hope.
Well, to be fair, that was mainly because this was the 90s, and it was only about like 2005 at consoles like PS3.
No, but I don't just mean Lego Star Wars. I don't mean games. I mean the actual brand. I mean,
right.
I mean actual.
I thought Spike was just talking about the game. The video game. I thought you meant it made. I thought you meant it made Lego Star Wars the complete saga possible.
No, I mean Lego, as in Lego Star Wars. The things you actually pick up and place on one another.
God.
No, I mean Lego Star Wars, as in Lego Star Wars. You can buy. Turn that off. I'm gonna have to edit this out now because you're playing music. Get back in it.
How dare you? You're gonna get a spanking.
You're going to sleep now. Ollie Bates has decided to go to sleep. This is terrible.
Ollie Bates is gonna get a spanking.
This is absolutely terrible. Like Lego Star Wars, the actual brand, where you actually build pieces, not the games. Nothing about the games I'm talking about. No, the pieces of Lego Star Wars, where you can actually build and things like that.
Yeah, you can destroy them in the game.
Shut up! I've been getting the camera all silence.
But in the game, you can build things just by holding down the button. You know,
doesn't make it better.
It does.
But whereas when you actually buy a real physical Lego set, you have to go to all the effort of putting it together.
You guys are literally driving me insane. This is meant to be a joyful experience for our podcast listeners. They're meant to really look forward to this once a week.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's comedy gold, get a lot of laughs.
It is comedy gold when you're going, I don't have feelings for George. But like, fuck, we all do weird laughter. But yeah, like, going back to what I was saying before, I still haven't made my fucking point. Because he keeps interrupting it, saying like, but to be fair, game consoles weren't really well until 2005. Second time now. Like, Lego Star Wars was...
Oh, I had the Clone Wars one. On the Wii.
I actually used to have the rare set of... I apologise...
It's meant to be about the Phantom Menace. You're wondering about the Clone Wars.
I used to have a rare set for the Phantom Menace. I apologise to podcast listeners, but Obi-Wan, Anakin and Jar Jar are currently in this blue water ship thing, and I used to have the set for that.
You know where they get chased by the big fish?
Yeah, that one.
Tell me what is the best piece of Star Wars Obi-Wan TV show
It's pretty good, yeah.
ever.
No, but it isn't the best ever.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You get back into camera.
I think the best ever is the original 3 movies.
Come on, get back into camera.
I wish Jar Jar was the main protagonist in the original trilogy.
I think the original trilogy.
That might be a bit controversial.
I think it's controversial for Lewis because clearly him and Lewis had a bit of a falling out back then. If the podcast listeners, Ollie Bates just managed to whack his head on my laptop. That was quite incredible.
Yeah, and also the podcast
to my
listeners.
house, which they're currently sitting on.
As you can see, YouTube watchers, Ollie Bates is now back in your view.
Yes, hopefully he is. If the camera.
Hopefully to say.
But what I was saying before, I still haven't made the flipping point.
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars only came about because of this movie, because of the Phantom Menace. Before it wasn't even existing. Like, you got some Lego Star Wars sets from the 999, which are like dead rare and really expensive on things like eBay. I've tried to get them, trust me. But you know, without Phantom Menace, we wouldn't have Lego Star Wars, which I think is quite incredible. The same way, like, say all about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Without that movie, you wouldn't have got Lego Indiana Jones.
That's true.
And so without this movie, we wouldn't have got Lego Star Wars.
I'm surprised that it took... I know that we're doing this about the Phantom Menace, this podcast and video, but
I haven't made about the Phantom Menace really so far.
I'm surprised that it took Indiana Jones 4 in 2008 to actually introduce Lego Indiana Jones Lego sets.
Well, there just wasn't a need for it. Plus, they knew you could, cash out on the movie, couldn't they? It's not what happened with the Phantom Menace. Star Wars was huge before the Phantom Menace came out, but they only decided to try and cash in on it because of the Phantom Menace. But still, nonetheless, also things I generally really like about this film include the fact that we get to see Yoda again, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, his first appearance, and also Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon, the pod racing stuff.
Jar Jar.
I don't like Jar Jar.
I've got a fun.
The duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul and I don't really like Padme in this film.
I've got a fun fact for all the listeners and viewers. I used to think Qui-Gon. I used to think he was named Qui-Gon. I used to call him Qui-Gon Jinn. He's a kid. He's a kiddie wink.
But also visually, it's quite a gorgeous movie. I mean, we're just watching it without any noise. It's quite nice looking, isn't it? Although the direction isn't brilliant, but you know, at the same time, though, yeah, there's some things I generally like about the film. Is there anything else you guys generally like about the film?
Well, I like Darth Maul.
That's not gonna be. That's not gonna. What? I'm just saying this bit. For any podcast, it's not gonna have a clue what we're up to. No one on YouTube will have a clue what we're up to. But it's a bit where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Jar Jar are saving the Naboo fleet and saving the Queen. I'm
a big fan of Darth Maul. I think Darth Maul is one of my favourite Star Wars villains. Even though he's not in the film much, he's very good at the end.
Reappears in Solo.
Well, I do like Darth Maul.
Darth Maul's in
Solo. You got to say. You remember, isn't that little bit towards the end?
I like Darth Maul. I think Anakin and Padme go well together. Obviously, I think Anakin looks a bit young for Padme in this movie, in my opinion. I think in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, them being together is a lot more normal.
I think George Lucas was out of touch with reality when he wrote the script for this film, because like the first scene between Anakin and Padme, and Anakin is going, "Are you an angel?" And it's like,
it's about Indiana Jones 4. Like, what the heck happened?
Is there anything you generally like about the film?
Yeah.
Is that it?
What's yeah?
Well, clearly you're a big fan of the movie, so why?
Because there's nothing bad about it.
But you know
I don't know about that. Jar Jar.
It's badly made. We're just watching it with the sound off, and I think the John needs to actually elevate
the
it to
CGI
another level.
is shit.
Well, no, it's very, you know.
Language, is that going to get...
No, it's going to be fine. But at the time, it was very, it was very advanced. They were pushing boundaries. Well, yeah, but you got to, you know, a film is a product of its time. Those droids I actually think look pretty good, because I think this is a remastered version we're watching.
Oh yeah, I actually like the battle droids.
I hate them.
I like the droids.
Considering it's presumably CGI, it looks pretty good.
He does that move, doesn't he, where he jumps up and sticks his leg.
I like the spaceship designs. Like, I think the Naboo Starfighters are really cool, actually.
I like them.
Yeah, I just try to get
Especially when
them.
Mandalorian.
I've got a query.
Yes, in the Book of Boba Fett.
I've got a query about Obi-Wan. I don't understand what that dangly thing is coming off Obi-Wan's...
That's the Padawan's
It's
braid.
his hair.
If you're Padawan, you have to have a braid.
Right, so on the back of Obi-Wan's head, for
Ahsoka
people who
has
don't
one,
know,
doesn't she?
he's got the little dangling...
Braid.
Yeah, it's when you're
Ahsoka
Padawan.
has one as well.
Yeah, and
Well,
Anakin
what
has
was
it at
it?
the end of this film.
Anakin has one as well, yeah.
And he has one in
Start
Attack of the
there,
Clones as well, doesn't he?
how come they've got one on?
Just explained
Is
it.
there a Padawan? Padawan.
What's a Padawan?
Like an assistant Jedi.
Damn me, you've never watched a Star Wars movie before?
Yeah, but
Like,
I don't
Obi-Wan's a Padawan.
I don't remember anyone ever saying
Obi-Wan's
Padawan.
a Padawan in this because Qui-Gon's still around.
Ahsoka's Anakin's Padawan, even though he's not.
Oh yeah, so then in Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan ditches his
But these are genuine criticisms. I feel the film's doing way too much. There's way too much going on in this movie. It just constantly, something's happening. It's always really weird. And the way that introduce characters is weird as well. Like, I like the fact that C-3PO is, you know, Anakin. Anakin was built by him. The scene which we're currently watching now where R2 is introduced it's just weird though. And the acting isn't brilliant. I mean, I like Liam Neeson and I like Ewan McGregor, but everyone else seems a bit pants in the movie, to be honest. And the direction's quite sloppy. George Lucas isn't a great director in general, to be honest. It's not nearly as exciting as it could be, and I feel like a lot of the movies is let down by a really poor script and a really bad idea, and I think that's just, and also the fact that George Lucas isn't a great director, but that's just my opinion. I actually think the CGI is not bad, especially considering.
I think it's great.
1999.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Neither do I, really. And so yeah.
It's so can I just make a point?
Yeah.
It's weird. for me, the year that a movie comes out literally means nothing at this point. I think the CGI in 1999, The Phantom Menace, is miles better than Marvel movies that have come out in the last 4 years. I mean, it's no. I don't understand.
Oliver basically currently giving Lewis a death stare.
Maybe She-Hulk, but none of the others.
Yeah, the CGI and She-Hulk.
Thor Love and Thunder.
There's like one moment.
Oh yeah, the CGI was awesome. Thor.
It's a terrible film.
Yeah, bloody Endgame. Endgame.
What's that? I was like, I'm putting the title. Endgame. We're going off topic again. We're 1 second on Phantom Menace. Right, I'm going to tell you guys some interesting facts. I'm going to see your reaction to them. Right, come on, Ollie. You're here today. You're with us. Enjoy the time. Right.
Can I go home and come back again?
No.
Because you won't come back.
Yeah, exactly. Liam Neeson signed onto the film before reading the script.
True.
It's not a true or false. Actually, that could be true or false, actually. Although they're all... Yeah.
What did Liam Neeson do?
He signed on to the film before reading the script.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm just reading your facts. Is it true or false?
Is this because he knows how good Star Wars is and he
It's
just
just a big fan of Star Wars, to be honest. I think it was a bit of a bad move. Because it isn't a great script.
Well, I don't know.
Although apparently he developed a great friendship with Ewan McGregor, which is why, spoiler here, he had that cameo in Obi-Wan. So,
have I seen him?
No, you haven't.
Right, carry on.
Yeah, okay. Ewan McGregor had dialogue coaching to prepare for his role in the film so he could sound like Alec McGuinness. Alec McGuinness.
Oh, really?
Alec Guinness.
Oh.
Alec McGuinness. Who am I?
Interesting.
Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness, who played Obi-Wan in... Brilliant. Alec Guinness, who played Obi-Wan in the original Star Wars trilogy. A lot of the influence of the film was from the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Well, how does that work?
Because apparently, it's many of the same crew worked on the Young Indiana Jones stuff and also Phantom Menace. So it's kind of like a testing ground, which I think is pretty cool. Yaddle, who is a fan favourite background character who looks like Yoda.
Yeah,
was
she's
actually,
like a girl Yoda.
Who you can play as on LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, I've got that.
Was actually one of the designs of a young Yoda that they just used for a different character.
But when you see Yaddle...
We'll see her a bit later in the film. Yeah, Yaddle.
Yoda's girlfriend.
It's not really Yoda's girlfriend because you don't see him again. Also, okay, true or false here, in the original theatrical cut of the movie, Yoda is CGI or Yoda's CGI.
False.
In theatrical cut, in the original theatrical cut which came out in 1999, Yoda was CGI. True or false?
True.
False.
The correct answer is Oliver. It was false. Originally it was puppeted in the theatrical cut. In the cut we're watching, he's CGI because this was remastered. But there you go. Okay, another interesting fact here, this isn't true or false. Samuel Jackson got the role of Mace Windu in part through an appearance on the British talk show TFI Friday to promote a different movie because he talked about how much he wanted to be in a Star Wars film. And apparently the producer of The Phantom Menace, Robin Gurland, I don't really know who that is, saw Jackson on the talk show and got him a role in the movie. And I think Jackson thought it was only going to be like a small role though, because I think there's a story where Samuel Jackson showed up to set and they said we're going to give you a Jedi role, and he was like, what?
Yeah. Well, he did pretty well.
I think Oliver doesn't care.
He did pretty well for himself.
Also, you can see E.T. You can see the E.T. creatures in a scene later on in the movie.
Nice little E.T. cameo.
Yeah, and also actually in E.T. there's a scene where you see someone dressed as Yoda, and E.T. starts riding and goes home, home, home.
That's what we're going to see tomorrow when we go cinema. But me and Spike are watching E.T.
Yeah, we said this in the last podcast.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And we're pre-recording this. This isn't going to come out till like September the 10th. It's going to come out for a while.
Oh, sorry, that's irrelevant. We'll have already seen it by the time.
You've already seen it by the time this podcast comes out, but we'll go and watch it tomorrow. Also...
Well, that's not tomorrow, that's like a month ago.
No, it's about a week ago.
A month.
Okay, the first scene from the film which was shot was Darth Sidious and Darth Maul on the balcony talking about their war plans. If you remember that scene.
Okay.
Which scene is this?
Doesn't matter. Okay, also, do you guys want to hear about the significance of the Duel of Fates?
I do.
Okay. I love how Oliver's really contributing to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a great... Now he's just decided to come on, Oliver, contribute. Do you know the significance of the Duel of the Fates? Yeah, basically the significance is a duel between that. By the way, podcast listeners, Oliver nod his head. He's contributing a
Right, Oliver, you want to be here, okay? I'm going to hypnotise you. You want to be here.
Keep going.
Right, do you guys want to know the significance? Come on.
I do. Tell us.
Right, so basically, the significance of the Duel of Fate is that if Obi-Wan wins, you already know what happens. If Obi-Wan survives that duel, you know what happens. Anakin turns to the dark side. If Darth Maul wins the duel, Anakin turns to the dark side at the end of Phantom Menace. But if Qui-Gon wins a duel, then Anakin would have stayed good and would have turned to the dark side. Because Obi-Wan let him go. In Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan let Anakin go back to his mother.
Oh, and it was that made Anakin turn
Hate
down.
leads to fear, fear leads to sadness or something like that, and then hate leads to the dark side.
I never thought of it like
Anger
that.
yes, it.
I never thought of it.
Fear leads to anger, anger leads to the dark side. It's something like that. That's the quote. I'm paraphrasing there because my head's in a different place because this podcast is. The start of this podcast was so bad. I think we've kind of saved it a bit now.
Yeah.
I think we have a bit. We've all calmed down a bit. Because Lewis isn't saying he has feelings for Jar Jar anymore.
I remember years ago. I remember me and Jar Jar. We used to go out on nice meals. We used to go play bowling and go to the cinema. Misa bowling, Misa cinema.
In all seriousness, what happened with Jar Jar was actually quite sad. But the actor who played him, Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar, he was kind of the same thing happened with Kellen Reed Tran, who played Rose in Last Jedi. The actor Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar, was bullied online, and he didn't really get any acting roles after his movie. And well, that's what's happened.
I'm surprised because you literally don't even see the actor. It's just a CGI Jar Jar.
Yeah, he's accused of racism. And there's a lot of really bad things that happen, and it's really a shame. It's really sad that.
It's not his fault.
No, it isn't his fault.
He was just an unlucky actor.
All the quote unquote fans out there, all these toxic fans start blaming the actors. The same thing happened in The Last Jedi, and it's just it's not fun anymore when that happens. But anyway, is there anything else, Lewis, you want to say about the film? Because I don't even know how long the podcast is running on for. We're not even at the half an hour mark. This is going to be really short podcast.
I think the film feels a bit short. I mean, not short, long. So I think. I think the film's a bit long. I think it drags a bit, and they could shorten it down by like.
But that's the thing. They couldn't. Something's always happening. It's just none of it's that interesting. None of it's really that exciting. Like in Return of the Jedi, I actually think it's quite a slow film until the big final battle. But it's all interesting.
I mean, if we're being brutally honest, the main bit of the Return of the Jedi is literally like the last half an hour of the movie.
The last hour.
45 minutes.
Hour.
45 minutes.
Hour.
45 minutes!
Ah!
God, this is going to be an amazing podcast.
God, this has been one of the worst. I do apologise. It's only my fourth podcast. It's turned out terribly. Oliver looks generally depressed.
I think he wants to play Mario Kart.
We're already playing Mario Kart. He's tired. To be fair, I did put the podcast on him when he came.
How are you going to manage later on tonight at your friend's birthday?
No one needs to know about that.
Probably won't go.
You forget that the camera's on you or something. Oh, God. Yeah, anyway, is there anything else you guys got to say about Phantom Menace?
I quite like it.
There we go, with a little contribution from Oliver.
I think it's a classic.
It is one of those movies that's kind of so bad.
Yeah, a bit like Norbit.
It is one of them. Yeah, it is kind of one of it's so bad it's great, and like
Norbit.
No, Norbit's rubbish. But should we do it at the end of the last podcast and do some film recommendations?
Yeah, okay.
Tag.
Tag is rubbish.
No,
Tag is rubbish.
Right, Tag.
Tag is terrible.
2018's Tag classic.
Yes.
Yes.
It has a good use of Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train in it.
I'll give you that.
There's this one scene where I love. You know when he pulls the guy's pants down and he goes, "It's showtime."
To be honest, I don't really remember.
I don't remember that either in the film.
Oh, do you remember at the end when one of the main guys running along the aisle in the church? Do you remember?
Sebulba's just been introduced, by the way. You know who Sebulba is?
Yeah.
I was watching the movie. That's the one that Anakin faced off against in the pod race.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him. I first saw him in the Lego
I'm going to
game.
give a legitimate, good film recommendation. You want to hear that? It is High Fidelity. It's a great movie about a guy who works in a record shop. He's trying to go with his girlfriends, and it's just It's actually really good. It's
That's
actually
good.
a really clever movie. Also, another film recommendation for me.
Tag.
Tag, no, Tag.
Tag.
Oh, for God's sake! I'm trying to do a serious podcast. But for
Tag,
God's
you're it.
Another recommendation.
Up. Pixar's Up.
A Shallow Grave with Hugh McGregor. That's another Hugh McGregor film.
I've got one. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
Steven
like no
Spielberg's-
one's seen that before. Christopher Eccleston's also in Shallow Grave.
Oh, and The Boys.
The Boys is a
Boys.
film recommendation.
The Boys.
The Boys is a great TV show.
Don't need to be a
Oh,
film.
yeah. But I recommend Legend 2015, the craze movie
Rubbish.
Tom Hardy.
Terrible
No, it's
film.
brilliant.
Boring.
Right, no, right. It's a great film.
Yeah. But if you didn't see that, Lewis tried to just low raspberries in my opinion.
Right,
Right, we're calling it a day.
I think
No, we're not calling it a day because we actually ran things off it. I'm
Legend,
thinking
Legend,
at the
Legend, Legend. 2015. Go watch it. Get it on Blu-ray or watch it on stream. I don't
end. It is
mind.
actually on
Whatever.
Netflix.
It's on
right
Netflix.
now.
Perfect, guys. Podcasts and viewers, watch it on Netflix.
It's Lewis is giving his big film recommendation there. Personally, I think Legend is pants. I think it's
Right.
boring. And I think it's one of the worst gangster movies I've seen. There's so many other better gangster movies out there. Goodfellas, Casino, American Gangster, Gangs of New York, Godfather. Yeah, miles better than Legend.
Goodfellas.
No, I think Legend's up there as well.
You think Legend's as good as a Godfather?
For me.
My lord. You might be the only person in the world that has ever said that.
Right, I think it's up there.
But as our
I
film
think it's up
recommendations
there.
this
It's
week
up
seem
there.
to be mine are High Fidelity and Shallow Grave. His seems to be
Legend.
Legend
Legendary
and
film.
Tag. And all of us seem to be Tag and The Boys. And The Boys is a TV show. It's a cracking TV show, that. But it's a TV
Bye.
show.
That's fine.
Well, what
Bye.
you
No one's going to understand that!
Do you know what you're saying? Is
Wolfie will if Wolfie's watching.
everything
He's not
got,
going to be watching this!
everything got one vote except for Tag, which got 2.
No, right.
So the film of the week is Tag.
No, the film of the week's from the Phantom Menace. We're watching the Phantom Menace. These people have just been introduced, by the way. Whether you guys will really see that all here. Oh, just,
Brilliant. He's naked.
he's not naked. He's the wine's exposing. And for God's sake, like, oh, dear me. Can we all recommend Elvis?
To
Yeah,
be fair,
I do recommend Elvis.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
El-
the film of the week.
Elvis
We all
great
recommend
film.
that.
Yeah.
Ha! Ha!
I can say something really bad here, but I'm not going to do it just to spare you.
Is it? What's it about the film?
About Tag
Oh
and
God.
Elvis.
No, Elvis is great. My favourite film of the year.
Anyway.
Well, no, I'm rounding off. I do
Well,
apologise.
I've got one more recommendation.
No! Because I know it can be something like the Nothing Professor. No. Eddie
No.
Murphy.
It won't be.
Like, what is it then? Come on, I want to hear. I'm going to be recommending a film now by Lewis. I genuinely want to know what this is because I don't know what it is.
Does it have to be from like the last 3 years or like? When...
No, it can just be any film.
Tell you what,
Okay.
Prisoners, Hugh Jackman.
Actually, good movie. That's a great movie.
I recommend.
Scary though.
Yes.
I recommend. I recommend Batman and Robin 1997.
And with that, Lewis lost all credibility on this podcast in any future podcast.
Right,
I
do
with
the
this channel.
number.
Right, I do apologise about this. We haven't talked that much about the Phantom Menace, actually. I'm going to probably do another one about the Phantom Menace in the next future because we haven't talked about it really.
We need to do the
whatsoever.
Indiana Jones 4
Because
podcast.
you guys haven't really said anything about Phantom Menace, and that's really.
You have when you've asked.
Yeah, but you barely said anything like, I don't actually mind it, it's okay. It's like, I wanted more. I wanted you guys to have like serious in-depth conversations about, do you guys actually think this is a good movie, or why do you love it? But instead, all this barely offered anything up. Whenever you offer something up, it's something really weird, and I feel it. And I actually think the CGI they did was quite good. And I'm trying to actually say some genuine criticism, some genuine observations. But it doesn't matter, we'll probably do another podcast on the prequels in the future and the stars of Phantom Menace. We'll maybe do a watch along and just discuss our thoughts as we watch along. But still,
Oh, sorry. I have a serious. I actually wanted to do a serious film recommendation. I just couldn't think.
guys,
for
I'm
some reason.
losing the world.
No, one more back. 2019 Joker.
Yeah, but everyone's probably already seen that.
Okay,
I
well,
can't
if you
imagine anyone
haven't-
watching this podcast, watching my YouTube channel thinking, I haven't seen Joker. One of my favourite films is 2019.
Right, I recommend Roller Coaster 1977.
Haven't seen that, can't comment.
Great movie.
Is that a genuine recommendation?
Yeah.
A genuine recommendation.
Oh,
Roller coaster.
Friday.
Friday. Is that the one with Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Funny film.
There's also this good horror called The Fog. That's a good film. I recommend The Fog.
Rubbish. I watched the other
You've
night.
seen it?
Rubbish.
Did
John
you?
Carpenter's
That's a
The
coincidence.
Fog
Are we done?
is rubbish. Anyway,
No, it's not.
the only good part about it is the ending when that guy tries to kill the priest, but that's it.
I'm insulted because my father gave me the film.
Doesn't mean it's good. I got shown films in the past by my parents and I think they're
Okay, I recommend The Bridge Too Far, 1977 again.
okay. We're just getting random film recommendations there. At the same time, why do I recommend you? And they've got beside one film with the cookies nest. I don't know, Groundhog
I
Day.
don't recommend, I don't matter.
What do you not recommend? Finish what you're going to say.
Because it might be a bit offensive. I just won't bother.
What is it? Just say it.
It's a film about the Holocaust.
Oh, right.
Born in striped pyjamas.
Oh, yeah, it's okay to not have your own film prep. It doesn't matter if it's a bit controversial.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, it's not that. Well, it doesn't matter.
Right. Edit that out.
Eddie Murphy.
Right, we're going to round it off now. I do apologise. The podcast has been shite today. It's been terrible. If you did enjoy it though, thanks.
Terrible.
Like and subscribe.
Terrible.
Come back for more. Tell your friends if you really enjoy the podcast. Hopefully it'll be better than this next time. And yeah.
Au revoir.
Thanks for listening and thanks for
Thank you,
watching
guys
if you're watching
and
this on
girls.
YouTube. See you guys again soon.
Bye.
Goodbye for now. Bye.
Bye.